Hi, my name is Martin Haulena. I am the head veterinarian at the Vancouver Aquarium and the Vancouver Aquarium's Marine Mammal Rescue Center. I've been here for about 13 years. Prior to this, I was the staff veterinarian at the Marine Mammal Center in Sausalito, California for about 9 years. Overall, over my veterinary career, I've probably helped treat over 13,000 stranded seals and sea lions. The pinnipeds that we are concerned about here in British Columbia, namely harbor seals, stellar sea lions, and California sea lions, are by no definition overpopulated. Some of the populations are at what we call traditional or historic values. Some are getting close to those values, and some are still under those values. Most populations, when undisturbed, tend to balance themselves. The ecosystem is a very complicated place. We rely on these animals, which represent top-level predators, to control a number of other different species, and they themselves are a food source for things like killer whales. So balancing the numbers of these animals is something that happens very naturally, and it's happened for thousands of years. The competition between resources is something that's been happening between species for a very long period of time. However, we're at a point in our history where people are probably taking more than they should be from a number of different resources and taking away resources from populations that normally would be relying on those resources. So we treat a lot of animals here, and unfortunately a lot of them come to us because of the direct action, negative action of humans. Jessica Seal's a really good example of this. She came to us February 18th, so just a few months ago. She's a young seal from last year. She was very, very skinny, in obvious distress, and obviously blind on initial exam. When we did x-rays, we found the cause of that was gunshot. She'd been shot with a shotgun but using bird shot, so that completely blinded her. Pellets entered both eyes, lots and lots of pain, lots of destruction of tissue. And she couldn't forage, so she was going to die a long, starving, horrible death. And that's unfortunately something we see too often here. So she's just sort of one of those examples of what a cull actually looks like. It's not clean, it's not nice, there's a tremendous amount of suffering, and there's some serious animal welfare issues. So it's a very complicated question to ask. What should a fisherman do when there's an animal that's competing for a fish on the line or in a net? Obviously, the wrong thing to do is to hurt or harm an animal, and that's something we see here a lot. We see a lot of animals that have been shot, for example, but not killed. So they're suffering, they're going to die a very long, protracted, painful death, and it's just not right to do that. My worry is a potential seal or sea lion cull will have disastrous effects. First of all, it's an animal welfare issue, but more importantly, I think there are some big factors. Harbor seals, for example, eat hake. Hake eats salmon. Taking out harbor seals that would remove hake from feeding on salmon might have very deleterious effects on salmon levels. Harbor seals and sea lions as well are also important food items for killer whales. So unnaturally disturbing the normal population of pinnipeds in our ecosystem might have potentially disastrous effects on killer whales, but salmon as well. There are so many things that need to happen to have healthy, sustainable fisheries. First of all, we need to know what a healthy, sustainable fishery is. How many fish of a certain species at a certain time of year in a specific geographic region can we take to maintain sustainability? We need that research, and we need to know those numbers. We need better ways of figuring out how many fish are actually being taken, not just by commercial fishers, but by recreational fishers. We need better habitat restoration, and we've taken out vital streams, vital rivers that replenish our stocks of fish. We need to figure out how to bring those numbers back, how to restore our coastlines, how to improve important eelgrass beds and near-shore environments that are important for fish to grow that salmon eat.